Hello, Zoe. Get out. Go on. Get out. If anybody's actually watching this, and I expect there will be a few people will pop in, let me make sure live chat is turned on. There we go. Trying to see if I can do something about the... I don't want dance party. What the hell? No. Document. Okay, sketch. Oh, wow. So, hi. No. Let's go with this one. Maybe get the bit darker color here. There we go. That's a bit better. Let's keep trying here till we find a good one. Do I want to broadcast in black and white? No. Do I want to broadcast in really black and white? No. Do I want bubbles? You fucking kidding me, YouTube? I had this much trouble getting my fucking dream. Oh yeah, no. Let's try acid trip rather than dream, shall we? Glamour. Yeah, because I'm so glamorous. 8mm. Wow. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a Nicolas Cage movie now. Document, sepia, silver screen. Ooh, fancy. Hot. That's weird. Hey Zoe, did you know you're black? Sketch. I guess sketch is the last one. Dear God, that's hard on the eyes. Okay, so I'm just going to be building a sawhorse real quick, and then throw some work into this piece of crap vacuum back here. Try and get that running again. That's my shop vac for now. And of course, there's Zeus, and Zoe made an appearance briefly. He's busy sniffing her ass, so we won't show that on camera. You two get out. Go on. Out. Go on. Out, Zeus. Go on. I'm not mad at you. I just want you out. Okay, there we go. So you may also hear Stormy's YouTube in the background. That's in the other room. Though there's no door between us. So, yeah. In any case, I think that's going to be... Can I change the lighting, I wonder? No, not just... Okay, no filter. No filter it is. Can I get back into this? Yes, I think I can, somehow. Okay. So one person flicked in, one person left. Live chat. Okay. How do I get rid of... This is going to be interesting. I may end up destroying the stream here. No, I don't want to cancel the stream. How do I get... No, I don't wish to do that either. If I hit X, it tells me I want to stop streaming. I'm trying to get this goddamn menu off the... Okay, let's see. You may notice a stutter. There we go, reconnected, and of course it did that. Okay, I'm gonna hope that that disappears at some point, because if that's, well, it's probably just on my screen, but it's still irritating. Hi, Marco. Yeah, so I'm just playing with some YouTube today. I'm going to try and build a sawhorse behind me. You can see some of the material here I'm going to use. All it is basically a triangular frame that you put logs and other long pieces on to cut. Brings it up to waist height, makes it a little easier to deal with. It's mostly going to be outside because we have some yard cleanup that we've done, and I'm going to be building a fire pit, or at least bringing a fire pit. I'll probably buy something prefab and just throw on the lawn somewhere, throw a few chairs around it just to sit around. But there are some pieces of wood that I have to break up to do that sensibly. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to go and get to work. I just about finished my cigarette, so yeah, enjoy. Can't make any promises about popping into chat quite as much as I usually did. You guys may notice, though, that my ass is significantly less wide than the last time you saw it, because I have lost a bit of weight. And first thing I have to do is clean up in here, because I've been trying to get a few things done around the rest of the house, and this now needs to get dealt with. And I'm going to drop my curtain, so it should eat some of the sound from Stormy's. We had a fire pit made of an empty grill gas tank. Yeah, that's been common. We have an old oil furnace tank. Hey, yes, nice to see you. Thank you. Yeah, it was mostly due to the stress of having a family all of a sudden. But yeah, it's been something I've been trying slowly to do anyway, so it is nice. Anyway, yeah, back to the. I have to drop the curtain. Hopefully that'll kill some of the background sound. Okay. So first things first, I have to set up a spot to work on. Well, very first things first, I need to sweep the floor briefly. You'll notice there's a rather extensive cloud of dust forming already. That's because the vacuum that I'm going to work on once I finish this decided to malfunction and not hold on to anything I put in it. And of course, like an idiot, I've still got my Crocs on. Just realized that, so I'm going to go put my boots on. I'll be right back. Love you. Okay, now that the proper footwear has been acquired, let's do a few things around here and get sorted out. And yeah, this is probably going to be one of the last woodworking projects I do for quite some time. Come to the realization that I probably won't be able to manage a shed on the property. I'm going to be selling off a bunch of my tools, focusing more on video creation. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'll keep a few things for making the occasional piece of craft work, but yeah, what is is. And with Stormy and I both planning to start more academic careers in the near future, it just makes sense to do it the way we're doing it. So this go there. Okay. So some of you guys are already aware of the Give, Send, Go that we have set up for Stormy for fixing her smile. I didn't update any of the links in the description of this. I probably will after it's done, but if you are aware of the link and you're an mod admin in my channel, please feel free to throw it into the chat. The GoFundMe did somewhat well. We got about a fifth of the goal raised before there were financial shenanigans with GoFundMe. Not surprising given their behavior. Yeah, the other part of the reason that I'm getting rid of some of my tools is, well, probably most of my tools, is because, let's see, what we got here. Hey, Heels, how you doing? Let's see. Ardent, good to see you, brother. There's a great view of your workshop shed. This is not my shed. This is actually a room in the basement that's going to be converted into a studio. The original intention was that I was going to be able to do a little bit of woodwork in here as well, but it's not going to work out that way, so I'm actually going to be getting rid of a lot of my tools. And do say hi to your family. Yes, you have a lovely day too. But yeah, and thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. But yeah, this is just kind of a spur of the moment sort of deal. I'm going to throw together a quick Sawhorse. I don't know if it's even necessarily a Newfoundland traditional Sawhorse. It might just be an English thing, or yeah, but it's the traditional design of a Sawhorse for cutting logs, and it just makes sense to have that to put outside because we have a bunch of sticks and things around the property that need to be cleaned up. And I have a lot of scrap wood that's probably going to end up getting burned. So, yeah. It's really just a matter of cleaning this up. As I mentioned before, the dust is due to the vacuum that was malfunctioning, which is in the corner there, and that'll be fixed after. Okay, I'm just going to use that then. Okay, that basic cleanup is done. Get that over out of the way for the minute. Okay. Okay, so basic cleanup is done. Let me check, see what's in chat. See if I missed anything important. Hello, Prime. I don't need a license for carpentry in Canada as of yet. Healing, power tools, and mass construction need licenses. Yeah, no. So far in Trudeau's Kanakistan, I don't need a license for this. So far, give it time, I'm sure. But yeah, all I'm doing is just throwing together a quick Sawhorse. I'm sure it's a fairly old traditional European design, so just basically the triangular cross frame. So you guys will see as I'm going. You'll probably recognize the type. Interesting. And scrap wood. So I need pieces of 2x3. Let's see. So, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to grab some gear. I've got stuff scattered from doing odd jobs for people and things like that. I throw it in the bag and I go on with it. Because I don't really have a properly set up workroom, I don't have shelving. Well, I do now, but I don't really have well set up a well set up area to sort everything out at the end of a job. I've pretty much just been leaving it in bags. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be because I'm short on screws, I'm going to be, or more accurately, I have short screws, though I shouldn't. I thought I had longer screws somewhere. But what I'm going to be doing is putting a little bit of a countersink on the pieces, smack them together with the shorter screws if I can't find my longer ones. I love me. So I've got longer screws. Now I have to do a bit of counting. Give me a minute. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I need 21 decent length screws. Something tells me I may just get there. Yeah, I've got enough screws. Just a question of getting them all out of here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can find a bunch the same length. Okay, I have things that I need. Okay. So I'm using, or more accurately, reusing screws because, well, it's just a scrap piece that's going to be outside and used mostly to beat up. So let's see, did I miss anything? No, my shed has not grown, actually, because I changed locations, Callum. I'm actually in a basement. This is the house that we're renting uh, in Stormy's hometown. But essentially, the shed is kind of on hold, potentially semi-permanently, because we both have other things going on in our lives. I would prefer to, when I have the free time to do it, rather than do woodworking, I would rather focus on content creation. So it's kind of a bit of a catch-22. Right now, I'm just building and I'll explain it again because I don't know if you actually were here to hear it. Just throwing together a sawhorse. Now, it's the traditional pattern that you would have seen, but essentially what I'm doing is just uh, throwing pieces of 2x3 together to make a triangular frame that will sit on the ground that you can take a log or a longer piece of board and set in, make your measurements, and cut. It's generally got two, I guess you could call them tiers. One will be roughly 8 inches or 18 inches long, or a foot long, sorry, what's this? A basement, man's second favorite place. True. No, only just popped by to drop a like and wish you a good day. Well, thank you, Callum. I appreciate that. But yeah, and like I said, so I'm doing this on the fly, so I'm not particularly worried about people staying in chat and things like that. So I've got some scrap 2x3 I'm going to use to put that together. I may very well use, these are, oh wait, no, where are those? Those, okay. In that corner, right there, there's some scrap wood from a bed that Stormy had when we got together that I've since disassembled and replaced with a much more solid platform because, well, I'm a big dude. And yeah, if I roll over too much on a regular bed, it tends to not go well. Or sorry, I should rephrase that to a cheaper bed. It tends not to go too well. But the wood that was in the bed is quite decent quality, so that will do for the lengths for supports, essentially. The whole purpose of the 2x3 is to weight bear in the crook of the triangle here. And what you do, you take you'll have 3 tiers, and you drop your board in there. I'm sure you guys have seen these around. I mean, anyone who's lived in rural Newfoundland has seen one their whole lives. Uh, and it's probably an English traditional design. I'm not 100% sure if I've seen, I believe the guy's name is either Owen, Ian, or some Irish pronunciation of his name. There's a Reardon, I believe his last name is, who's fairly popular with the woodworking stuff on shorts and things like that now. I'm almost certain I've seen him working on one of these, so it's probably an old world. Well, it's almost certainly an old world design. It's just whether it's English, Irish, Scottish, I don't know. It may even be French or could be Greek. It might even be as old as, you know, the certain carpenter who got hung up on a piece of wood. Okay, so since I don't actually have to drill any countersinking, I can just go ahead and put this together. Just a question of finding the right tool. That one's quite dead. Oh dear. Yeah, this is the downside of not having put things back where they should have been when I was done with them. I have a few bits and bobs that are scattered around. I do believe my drill bits are in one of the bags here on the table next to me. And again, because I don't have an actual setup shop, I forgot to charge one of the batteries. I'm hoping I won't need it, but in the meantime, I'll put it on to charge. There we go. Okay, and that's charging. And nothing appears to have gone very bad with the stream. That's good. And I'm still having a problem getting rid of the lighting effect on the screen, choosing filters. I wonder if I choose Dream at this point, will that go away? That's not really what I want. Blush, definitely not. Didn't expect to see you today. Hi, Medger. How's it going? I'm throwing together a quick Sawhorse, and then I'm going to try and repair this vacuum so it works properly. Other than that, not too much. Oh, maybe a curtain. It's not that particular piece of lighting I'm trying to get rid of. There's a bar now that wasn't there the last time I did a live stream on my tablet that basically asks me what I want for... Let's take it back to nothing and see if I can... No, I don't want any of that stuff. There's a tiny check mark. There we go. Finally got it. Big thumb. Big problem. Baked loaf of bread. Awesome. I love the smell of fresh baked bread. So. Okay, what have we got going on here? Okay, so I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So I'll take my other 4 pieces, get them over here and get them ready. And they're all roughly the same length. I could cut them, but given the nature of what I'm going to be doing with this, it's not really necessary. And I suspect that if I lay this down and get the angle more or less right, that is more than high enough for my purposes. So it's really just a case of throwing a screw in here and then doing that 2 more times, getting the lengths set up, which will be those boards back there. And yeah, after that, I should be golden. Okay. Well, hang on. I may very well have to cut some of these to actually be exactly the same length. Less than a 1/4 of an inch. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So essentially what I'm doing is getting the bottoms lined up and coming down. I believe you're supposed to come down about 1 foot, so it'll be about here that I'll put the first screw in. Yeah, that's it. But I need my other drill, which should be here. Okay. And my drill bits are God knows where. Those are screwdriver bits, which technically will be what I need, but not in there. Okay. So I will grab those because safety matters and I'm putting on safety glasses. Now let's see, is the drill bits in here? No, that's not been unpacked. Let's see the drill bits over there. Drill bits are not in here. Let's try this one. There we are. Okay. There we are. They very well be busted. That doesn't sound good, does it? Just to show you what's going on here. I've engaged the chuck and it's still kind of crunchy. Bradley is a great tool if you're not stressing them. Unfortunately, the last odd job I did for a neighbor was to put in some deadbolts. That stressed it just a lot. So yeah, this thing is probably screwed for anything but extremely light duty work. And to be fair, Radley does say they're not meant for heavy commercial use, so cutting a deadbolt in a steel door is probably commercial use. And I need one of the screws, which is in my pocket. That one should be fine. Let's try the screw. Okay. Okay. Now I need to check the length of my screw to make sure it goes at least. Okay. When you're screwing 2 pieces of board together, and I generally don't like to do that, but when you're screwing 2 pieces of wood together, you want to make sure your screw is at least long enough to go minimum 1/4 of the way into the other piece. In this case, this will punch pretty much through both. so I had to be careful not to punch a hole in the table. And even though I don't really need to, I'm going to use, I should have a tape measure here somewhere that I can use, but I don't. Of course I don't. Where would that be? In there, I believe. Okay. So I'm going to make a quick mark, roughly a foot down, and that will be my guide for the other two screws. Give or take the same place so that when I get it together, it's not too tippy. I will be taking an angle cut off of the ends to make sure it sits a little flatter. Because it's going to be sitting on grass and soil, I probably could leave it and it would essentially bite in on its own. The problem with that is it could create some interesting racking effects, and I'd rather not have to deal with those. Now, where did I put my pens? There. So I'm going to try this at 12 inches, see how it works. And if it doesn't hinge quite appropriately, I will try it again. I'll try adding down to 13, up to 50, or up to 11. We'll see what we get. Now, one thing I do want, though, is to make sure that those don't shift while I'm doing them. So, I'm going to clamp them in place. That's more or less good enough. Now, you'll notice the moment that hit the surface, I stopped screwing because, well, I don't want to end up with a hole in the back. So basically, what we have, really cunt? Okay, let's try it from the long side. There. So what I'm aiming for is essentially a frame that's about this angle, or maybe a little shallower. So it'll be about this angle. I'll be able to put fairly decent sized logs in there. Anything up to about, I'd say that's about 8 inches. If I have anything bigger than 8 inches, I'm probably screwed. But I'll go till that's about 9 instead. Let's see what we got here. So from 3 inches to 11, let's bring it up just a little more. Make you a foot. Okay, you can come back just a little more. Okay, so it's roughly a foot. So that will take care of any big pieces. Plus at this height, it's still pretty much waist level, so I won't have to bend particularly far. The most common use for this particular sawhorse is generally chainsaw work in cutting larger logs into, I suppose you'd call it stove size, or wood stove size, fireplace size, so that they're a little easier to handle. Somebody came in, didn't they? Curtain. Hi Tony, how's it going? I wasn't expecting to see you till later tonight. It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm just throwing together a bit of woodwork in my basement, unfortunately. My shed has vanished, so yeah. Such is life. So yeah, I'll do the next two, and then I'll have to measure and cut for other things. Okay. Yeah, how far off are you guys for? I do remember I said that the length from the floor didn't matter. Unfortunately, it does. So, what I'm going to end up doing is checking to see where I put that screw on this one in terms of that length, and I'll start going from that side instead, because the tops don't really matter if they're even. The bottom kind of does. We go from here. And that's 36. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's 3 feet high. And that will do very easily for that. Okay. Get you lined up. 3-foot measure. One good thing about this, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. So this won't be getting painted or anything, this is just going to be kind of smashed together. And yeah. I don't really need that thing that much for this. Yeah, that has to be even that way. So this time, instead of clamping from that side, I'm going to do it from this one. Line up. Okay. Oh, it's in the leg, that's why there we go. Okay. Get them as tightly lined up as possible. Here where my hole is. And there. And that's quite loud. Should probably have ear pro on, but I'm not doing a lot of this today, so I'm willing to take the risk. And now we have 2. Oh yeah, that's nice. Good and tight. Okay. And as with the first one, we'll get our measure across the tips about 12 inches, 9 inches rather. Hello. One of the cats was trying to get in. You can come in, Corn, but you're not going to be entertained. Let's see here. 3 to a little less than a foot. There we go. A little bit of gentle adjustment. And we have our last one to do. This one is significantly different in length. So I'm actually going to swap out one of the older pieces I have for a slightly newer one, depending on their length differences. I think this one would be the best choice. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that's not bad. And they're both of these ends squarish. Squarish. Squarish works. Okay. I suppose I should map my mark first. I'll be stopping for a smoke in a few minutes. If you can hear some popping noises, that's the cat sharpening his claws on one of the pieces of wood just outside the room here. Not a big deal. he's enjoying the fact that I have so much scrap wood to play with. Okay. I'll need that. This time I'm going to just start the screw before I put the clamp on because I got a little out of order. There we are. One of the good things about certain woodworking operations, you don't have to necessarily be slavishly procedural with some things. There we go. And again, trying not to screw into the end tables because they are still somewhat useful. And they'll probably end up being a feature of my studio. Okay, whenever that happens to get built. You'll notice too that I have a lot of trouble getting them started, pulling them apart this way. It's because of the direction that the screw goes in. Oh. Checking for a 9-inch width. That needs a little more. Don't think I need that much more. Yeah, that's not bad. Small adjustment back the other way. There we go. Okay, so now having that done, you can see the basic structure. I can actually pull this out and show you gently. So what happens is one set of legs is set about no more than a few inches apart like this, and then you have a much longer one back here. So we'll probably go with something akin to this. This is going to be what would that be? This looks like it'll be about 20 inches or so, and then this one will be about 10. Because I don't need a particularly super long one, so what I'll be doing here is, okay, yeah, might as well keep you from being too clumsy. I'm going to set these up so that the angle stays, which means that on each one of these pieces that I've just put together, I'm going to take one of these longer boards, put them across, probably a foot or so from the end, just to keep that triangular bracing. Come on, Corn. Come on. No? Come on, you can get in this way. Here. Come on. Here. Come on, you want to get in here so bad. There you go. Okay, guys, let's introduce you to the cat. Come here, buddy. Oh. So this is Corn. He's much more photogenic than I am. But I believe for the last few months this has been his kind of personal private playground. So, yeah, he's probably pissed off about me being in here. Hey, buddy. Okay. I'll let you down. You can go roam. He probably won't stay because I'm in here, but yeah, matter of fact, he's leaving already. See you later, curious bastard. Do you want out? Here. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I've never managed to train a cat to do anything much more than sit on my shoulder and get down off the table. But he's curious as balls. Okay, Corn. Come on. Here. Come on, come back in here. You go find somewhere to park. I don't know where, but yeah, of course it's going to be up there. Well, you're not going to be happy there for long, cat, so... no, you're not getting up there. Not the way it's set up, anyway. Okay. Where are you? Come here. Come here. You want to get up there? You can get up there. There you go. Now. Oh, boy. Sorry about that. Distracted by the cat. So, I need 1, 2, 3 of these for those bracings. Be good, Zeus. So, what I'm doing here now is just cutting these straps. Though they're stapled, so I don't really have to cut them, but yeah, just get them out of the way. And this is an old knife I was attempting to clean up that, well, just isn't going to get that way now. I did suggest to Bezic maybe I should do some cutting videos a while ago. Kind of funny. Uh-oh. Well, that didn't work out the way I planned. And is that one loose? It is. Okay, perfect. Let's put you somewhere safe. Go on. Up under. There you go. So the cat is leaving us. So now I need to move this and these. Because I'm going to have to do work on a different part here. Let's see. That might be easier that way. And yeah, I continue to talk to myself constantly doing these. Okay, let's have a poke at chat just to see if anybody said anything. Tony popped in. Let's see. Am I building a shed? God, I wish I was. I'll build it in my basement, then realize my strategic error after it's done. The good thing about this measure is once I have it done, even though it's going to be wider than the door frame, at least I think it is, what I'll be able to do is just bang, bang, bang out 3 screws, fold it a little bit, and move it. So yeah, won't be that big a deal. I might have to take out 6. Tony has to go make dinner before his stream. Okay, Tony, I'll see you later on. Figured he was an orange tabby with a name like that. Corn, yeah. Yeah, he's gone through a variety of permutations of the name Corn. And of course, because I didn't name the cat, it's named Corn. Now, let's see. Why don't I come up about a foot? That would work, and I think that would keep those roughly the same. Yeah. Okay, so I need tape and pen again. I'm just going to mark a foot from the bottom on this side. Right about here. Really? Must you? There we go. Okay. Foot from there. And put a screw in. For this one, actually, I'm not going to use those long screws. I'm going to use the shorter ones that I found earlier. Let's see, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a bunch. So I might as well just take whatever's in here for the shorter ones. How long is that? That will do. So minimum that length. So you did bring up a very good point, Digger. If I'm not careful about where I put it, or how I build it, I will have to tear it apart to get it out of the house. It's a good point. Is that is? That should be the last sort of screws that I need. Hopefully I don't need to dig into my stash of good screws for this. I can just do complete reusal. What have I done now? I'll that thing off. That's what I get for buying cheap. Anyway, now I need drill, put a screw in here. I didn't make my, yeah, there's my 1 foot mark. Okay. Okay. Yeah, those shelves behind me aren't exactly anchored to the wall, so they're not exactly stable. Close enough. Let's see. Okay, so flip this one over. Do the same procedure on the other side. Okay, so now I just need to figure out how much length I need from these. And, well, I guess I'll pull the staples out of them too while I'm at it. If I happen to find a loose one. There we are. Is that it? Only one? Only one. Okay. So, now. Setting that up properly. I'd like to, but I won't. There we are. So this will give you a basic idea of what the frame looks like. It's just a triangular braced frame with those long pieces will also end up going along the sides to keep it the shape of it. But this basic frame is thousands of years old. Certainly is at least as old as the screw or the nail. I've seen them nailed together as well. So now I need to measure up here, and that should be up against, there we are. So measuring up here again just to make sure I've got my 9-inch span-ish. Okay. Having that tells me exactly how much distance I need on these. Now, push that down, let that run until that hits there. From that point, actually, that point to that point there will give me the idea of how long it needs to be. So that's going to be from this point here, basically to the other side of the board along the same line. Actually, I want to do it this way so that I can set the braces down against these when I do go to brace it. So we'll have roughly, let's move that up a bit. Hello again, Corn. 26.5 inches. So we'll go 27 inches for the extra length, so that when I do go to put the braces down for the lengths, then I can just sit them on the little shelf that I'm leaving behind. Wow, yes I know, you're in a terrible spot, kitten. Don't you mow at me. I didn't do it. No, I'm actually going to go 28 because I'm going to take an extra inch off the end as well. Well, I certainly hope you can manage your balance up there, Cat. I'm going to have to put a brace under that so you don't fall. What have I got I can brace that with real fast? No. I just want to make sure the cat doesn't fall and knock anything over. So I'm just looking for something I can just throw under there for a brace really fast. And of course, there we go. That'll do it. Okay, Kato. You're okay there, but you're probably going to freak out when I do this. There you go. Now then, need 27-inch lengths of these, or 28 rather. So, while ideally I'd have a miter saw set up, I don't currently have one. So, that's kind of out the window as an idea. Okay. And where those pliers get off to. There. And yeah, Corn is very comfortable around me when I'm doing this. Potentially too comfortable, to be fair. But yeah, it is what it is. Now, and this will be the saw that I need. Okay, so my markers are on the other board because I didn't mark this board. Jeez. I swear I'm a professional. Okay, that staple isn't coming out because there's no strap holding it. So, there we are. And I broke a staple, which ordinarily would be a big problem, but I'm not exactly making something to sell here, so not an issue. And let's try a bit of physics on the next one. There we go. Good on you. If you're hearing sirens, again, as I said, that's Stormy watching some YouTube stuff. I think she's gotten into the sovereign citizen rabbit hole at this point. Which, if you guys haven't fallen down that, oh dear God, is that something else. And you will notice that I am, in fact, flicking staples out of this into the corner. There's a couple of good reasons for that. One, all of the things that are in this room are going to be removed. This is going to be turned into my new studio at a later point. And, well, studio slash workroom. I won't be doing woodwork, but I may do various computer-related things here. Hello, doggos. Let's see if anybody's popped in. Okay, so everybody is still kind of hanging around. Okay. Oh, thanks for the 8 likes, by the way, guys. Do like, share, subscribe. You know, if you're new, first-time subscriber, I think this was probably the first time I'd seen Tony in chat. But if you're new and have never sent a chat, feel free to say hi. I'll probably do these cuts, and then I think I'll sit down for a bit of a chat with chat. Speaking of, it is starting to get dark, so let's put some light on the situation. Okay. Do the 1 foot thing with these. And for everybody who got excited thinking I was about to start cutting, I do apologize. Jumping ahead of myself a little bit. Okay. Not quite as ambidextrous as I thought I might be today. There we go. This is more about setting the screws so I know once I pull them out, I know where to put them back. And do forgive me for being a little scatterbrained. It's been a long few months since I did any real content creation, and I've had a few sources of stress, so, and some new changes in life, so yeah. There we are. Okay, you're all ready to go. Good enough. Now, I did mention that I'd be cutting the ends off of these. All that'll be will just be to take a quick cut to make them flat. If the thing ends up a little tippy, it's not that big a deal because the first bit of weight that goes on it, because it's going to be sitting on grass and soil, the first bit of weight that goes on, it will set itself. So really the big issue is deciding where I'm putting it more than anything else. But yeah, that is significantly wider than my door frame, I believe. Certainly may not be as wide as the door frame here in the shop room that I'm working in at 37 inches. It probably is. Let's see, door frame. It's definitely less than 37 inches. So yeah, I very well may have to take this upstairs, put it on the deck to put it together to finish it. But again, not too worried about it. Probably what I'll do is leave one of the braces till last and do that. But in any case, this has to get finished. So I'm shortly going to sit down and have a chat with chat though, because I'm getting a little tired of not talking to people at the moment. But if it going to do that, I'm going to have to go get a chair anyway, so that'll be shortly. So, while I'm doing this, chat, why don't you suggest to me something that you think I should watch? I've been watching that Titans show, Woke Starfire notwithstanding. It's actually not atrociously terrible, but yeah, I've decided the last little while to try and give properties that I didn't give an opportunity for a watch a chance, because I don't want to, and no one should, I don't want to let someone else's opinion rule my decisions. So, and I've come to the conclusion that a lot of the anti-woke guys are a little too anti-woke sometimes. Even just a whiff of it is enough to put them off. Now, when it comes to something that's completely and 100% girl bossy, senselessly, yeah, no, I'm right there with them, but some things don't necessarily deserve that particular treatment. Okay. And there are properties that we all still love that we don't want to see completely ruined, so yeah. Now, all that said, I'm not paying to watch these things. It's either free or connected to something else. Oh, that's an interesting piece of lighting artifact right in the middle of my chest there. I have no idea where that came from, but I'm guessing behind me, because if I cover my glasses, it rains. So yeah, cool. Might be off of the light here. It's just a bare bulb. Oh, hello. Let's see. Woke is getting a bit too ubiquitous now. Not so much ubiquitous, or too ubiquitous. I mean, it is popping up fucking everywhere. But I think the issue is that the anti-woke guys have gotten a little overzealous, and even the barest hint of wokeness, they ignore a property, which might not necessarily deserve to be ignored. Part of my thinking on that is, if you have somebody who worked as a writer on a woke property, or a slightly lightly woke property, and the property is actually well written, for example, as a writer, not giving that person a chance to write something that isn't being dictated to them for the diversity, we're probably going to miss a few good talents. So, yeah. Now, that said, I'm still very much anti-woke. I don't think the woke media is good for society in general, but propaganda is what propaganda is. Now, let me see. Okay, next thing to do is cut some corners. I won't need you. I had a miter box. It's tucked away. I don't absolutely need the miter box. A small C-clamp would be nice, though. Where are my C-clamps? Probably not here. Okay. I still have a few items left in the old shed that I haven't moved. So, yeah. I wonder if my clamps might be in here. No, that looks like planes and things. Okay. Oh, for the record, when I do sell my tools, I'm selling the power tools, the hand tools stay. Because the only difference between a power tool and a hand tool is time. Just about to go cut things. Okay. Let's get this down. And get some measurements going. So yeah, like I said before, I'll make these few cuts. I only need to cut 3 pieces, not 4. So that one can go to one side. Does that one look like it's likely to split on me? Yeah, pretty badly. Okay. So that one's disqualified. That one doesn't look like it's going to split. These are all plywood laminated boards. They're laminated differently than I'm used to with plywood. It doesn't seem to be any sort of a filler layer. So it's very similar to Baltic birch that way. In fact, this may be Baltic birch, come to think of it. tool that will scratch this. Will do. There we go. Might be birch. It's pretty old, so it's kind of hard to get a sniff out of it. There we go. Stay in there too. Okay, so taking off that inch. The reason I'm taking an inch off the end, you can see they're drilled through, and that's just going to, well, it probably won't do much, but yeah, I'd rather not have it there. Okay. So going 1 inch from the end and then 28 inches after that. Let's see what we got for ends here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go grab another clamp. I'm gonna need it. And those are more or less aligned. They don't have to be perfect anyway because, well, I'm cutting all 3 pieces off, so it won't really matter that much. Let's go an inch here. And an inch here. That's aligned well enough. Now again, like I said, because this is such rough purpose work, it doesn't have to be precision cuts. Okay, let's not try it that way. Let's go over here. That. And 27 inches should be probably right under where that other clamp is. 27 is right there. Beautiful. So we're going to 28. And 28. Hi, Zeus. You stay. Zeus wants to get in and hang out with me. Okay, buddy, let me make one cut and you can come in, okay? Here we are. Now. Unless it happens to be 28 inches long, which means I could use it again. I don't think it's what I need. So these are the pieces I need for these. Just come over here. Okay. Now, these 3 pieces go in our scrap pile. which is actually over here. Okay, I'm going to sit down and have a cup of water and a smoke with you guys in just a moment. So if you got any questions for me, feel free to ask them. I will be flicking back through chat in just a minute. Let me see. I think here is good. And I'll get my cigarette down here. And I'm going to go and actually make myself a cup of coffee. Supper should be somewhat soon. So I will get a cup of coffee, use the washroom, and I'll be right back. So let me check chat before I go. Marku says he's gone to bed. Good night, Marku. Major, one reason I stopped watching some independent commentators is they're repeating themselves too much. I know what franchises are dead already. Maybe move on to other topics, please. You know, that's one place where I do agree with Tony. Tony DiGirolamo. You know, Star Wars is dead. Stop covering it. It makes sense. There was a couple other. Major says, oh, Simon is in. Hi, Simon. How's it going? And someone called Formalin. Slightly familiar. I think I've seen you in my streams before. But if not, do feel free to say hello again. And if so, then feel free to remind me. Let me see. Absolutely hopeless at carpentry, among other things. Simon, it's one of those things. The reason I'm, I suppose, relatively skilled at it is because, A, I grew up with it as a necessity for where I lived. You had to learn how to build things for yourself. But also, I made a study of it. I literally went to school for a course in woodworking. Now, what I'm doing here, I won't say any idiot could do it, but anyone with a reasonable grasp of geometry probably be fine. Also, it helps that when I was growing up, there were loads of examples of sawhorses of this type to be found. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to drop you down to about here, and I will be back in just a few minutes with coffee and, well, a chair. And a lighter bladder, one hopes. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. Hopefully there's some interesting questions in chat. No, I had to go get a chair, I just realized. I will be back again. Fine, be that way. There we are. Okay. Okay, that's not gonna work from that distance. Let's come a bit closer, baby. As one of my favorite country singers goes, hi Zeus, stay. So, let's check chat here. Show up sometimes, but don't post much. Okay, hi Formal. You're more than welcome anytime. Let's see. No grasp of geometry, bad sense of direction. That's geometry, not geography. No, I'm just kidding, Simon. It's good to be self-aware, though. Yeah, I guess some people probably have a natural gift for geometry and things like that. I certainly have a natural gift for parabolics. Give me a target within reach of my throw, I can generally hit it with pretty much anything. I'm half tempted to try the speed square trick that I've seen somebody doing, where he basically uses it like a throwing knife. Let's see. We need interlude music, something appropriate for an elevator. It's cute. And I know you all missed that. Let's see. What happened to my shed anyway? Well, when I moved in with Stormy, I changed towns. So, the shed is technically on my mother's property. And there are still some items there. Like I said a little while ago, I will be selling a bunch of my stuff. Mostly no hand tools, because some of the hand tools I have are hand-me-downs and antiques and things like that. But I'm at a point where I have to make a decision between continuing the woodworking or focusing on what's going to be a new career with the software development job. And I would far prefer to make content, even if it's simply sitting down on a Sunday and making the same sort of content I made before with the weekly Ask Ardent show. I would far prefer to do that than attempting to find time in the week to do stuff like this. Whoa, there's a bit of chroma for you. I know what the problem is with that, and I need to solve that immediately. That's sunset. Just 1 second, I'll go and throw something over that. What have I got that I can do that with in a hurry? I think so. Actually, yes. This should probably do it. There we go. That at least cuts it down a little bit. I'm still going to be shadowed because I have the lights are behind me, but in any case, it's a bit better than it was. I could move slightly to one side, but it's uncomfortable. Let's see. Software job. Am I a programmer? Well, no, Prime. What I'm doing, I'm going through a software development program at one of the colleges here. I'm doing it remotely from the house. And it eats up a lot of my time because software is not my general area of expertise and not really something I'm familiar with at all, as Disco will agree my thumbnails attest to. But the aspect of it that I'm focusing on looks more likely that I'm going to end up doing web development, something to do with building websites, things like that, because that's the aspect of it that I have fallen in love with. That said, programming, I probably won't end up focusing on that for a career. I enjoy it. It's something I can do, but it's not really where my major talent lies. Go lie down, Zoe. No, you may not come in here. There's too many dangerous things on the floor, pupper. Go away. Go lie down. Go on. Go. Good girl. Yeah, as far as I have in fact learned to do or relearned to code. I was about halfway through the orientation sessions. That is not really dark enough. Just a second. I'm going to change the orientation of that board. not great either. Okay. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the best I can do at this point. I don't have the time or the willingness to move any more stuff around. No, as far as programming goes, I am learning to code. I was about halfway through orientation when I remembered that I grew up in the 70s and 80s more than the 90s. And my brother had actually had a Commodore VIC-20. One of my cousins had had a Commodore 64. So I did learn some basic coding then. Uh, what they call them now are if-else statements. Back then we called them um, if-then, if I recall. But it's essentially the same logic. It's just that the syntax is very different. For example, JavaScript is far different than, say, BASIC. Uh, You'd witness a meteor strike that was bright. Yeah, yeah, that was something else. If for the record, though, if a meteor struck that close, that it was that bright, probably wouldn't be here to talk about it. Let's see. Primed. Learn to code. Chud. Those people are now losing their writing and animation jobs as the movie industry is collapsing. Yeah, and uh, being in something of a unique position because it's a fairly new program with fairly well experienced instructors. I do believe C++ is one of the parent or family languages of JavaScript. I'm not 100% sure. But with the instructors we have, because we have some really good instructors, some of them have industry experience. One of the instructors I had last term was involved with building Firefox, for example, or at least was involved with Mozilla. I'm not 100% sure he was involved with creating Firefox. But uh, the coding side of it, I do enjoy. But Simon's asking Measure if a little revision would bring it all back. Probably. If he's anything like me, he's a practical learner. So once you have the muscle memory, essentially, in a sense, I suppose. Once that gets triggered, everything starts to come back fairly easily. For me, though, again with muscle memory, most of mine involves cutting, measuring. Yeah. So it's been a challenge getting used to the course material and things like that. But yeah, let me make sure I answer that question properly. Uh, yeah, I have learned a little bit of coding, uh, but yeah, the collapsing movie industry, and this is what I was going to bring up about AI. A lot of AI is getting to the point. Like, just for fun, I've been using Chat GPT, and I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I just for shits and giggles thought, I wonder how hard it would be to get ChatGPT to fix the sequel trilogy from Star Wars. Not very. Or sorry, not the sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy. I tried to program or to get it to write the Darth Jar Jar storyline for me. And yeah, AI does have potential as an assistant. Do I like it? No. I still don't particularly like that people are dependent or becoming dependent on AI to do things. A couple of times I used AI to do assignments for me. Not exactly. I set it up so that it was something analogous to what I was supposed to do, and then use that as a tool to show myself by example what I needed to do. Uh, yeah, it's got its uses, but if you don't have a baseline knowledge, no. We run the risk of running into the. I'm chroming out like crazy here, aren't I? Yes, yes, I am. Okay, let me see if I can probably just turn the camera, and that might do better. Okay, I'll just move over a bit. Oh, come on, you chair. Well, that's a slight bit better. I gotta move this fat ass of mine over a bit. There we go. Get the chair comfortably under me. Um, and I'll probably have another smoke before I get up and go back to work. Um, though I do think, Measure, you made a very good point about me not realizing why I shouldn't put the thing together in here. So what I'll probably do is end up taking the completed trellises or joists or frames and take them upstairs and throw them together somewhere else. Prime did say his life was moving on as well. Let's see. He's doing ISTR certification. I'm not sure what that is. September to get new products into spec for customer, and the guy is coming the 28th to my woodwork training hall. So excited. That's awesome. Glad to see it. And Simon's asking if Prime is a programmer. I'm not sure. I think he does CNC milling or manufacturing, if I recall correctly. But do correct me if I'm wrong. CNC operator. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, the tap tap is still my signature. I know that I've been accused of being an asshole for doing it, but you know, it definitely gets people's attention. And my battery is charged. Excellent. Excuse me, and excuse me. I just wanted to make sure I had that off the charger before too long. I know most chargers now are trickle chargers, and the likelihood of doing any damage to the battery leaving it on the charger is negligible, but I'm still well trained in the old school stuff, so let's see. CNC has developed into a true art form. I'm going to fight you on that one, Simon. And it's no offense intended to Primed. Yes and no. When it comes to certain aspects of CNC, yeah, there's some artistic and creative access to it, but it's generally the starting point, not necessarily the operator point. That said, I'm sure there are times when you have to come up with creative solutions to problems. Ironically, the programming that I'm doing would probably make me a better CNC operator. I did learn to do that during the woodworking program. Never put it into use. Never really had the interest in it. I prefer working with my hands. Well, I'll give you that, Primed. You're right. Yeah, zero tolerance machining is an art. The programs are nuts. Yeah. So is that metal? Zero tolerance metal work you're doing? Because some of those pieces are incredible. Because you'll see two zero tolerance pieces that are meant to be mated together, and when they fit together, they're most of the time seamless, which is damned impressive. Yeah. Um, yeah. So what I'm going to do next here now is I'll get those frames assembled and get them ready to go outside. The next thing then I'll tear apart that vacuum. You guys can watch me struggle my way through figuring out how that's going to need to be fixed. I think what it is just the filter is jammed up. Uh, I don't think anything got into the motor. I certainly hope not, because if not, then I'm out of shop vac. Though I do have an actual shop vac I could use. Yeah, so other than that, let's see. Not at my job, we do couplings for water systems. See many videos of that on YouTube. Look to progress for it. Yeah. I mean, those videos on YouTube are just impressive as hell. Like, here's two pieces that are clearly not the same, and when they start sliding them together, the scene just disappears. It's really, really fascinating. But it has got to be finicky as hell. Let's see. Just check my notifications here to see if anything important came up. Jason is live over on No White Guilt, or at least he was. Tony will be live in about an hour and a half my time. Well, in an hour and a half. I don't know who this is. Susan Wakely. Let's see what she's... So, note to self, don't check my notifications while I'm doing this. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I accidentally tapped a notification and should have known better. That's a comment from God knows how long ago. So yeah, let me know if you guys are reconnecting. I do apologize. I did not intend to cut the stream off. Simon says he watched his general engineering and CNC vids. Appreciate the skill involved. Yeah, I mean, I won't say there's no skill with CNC. That's not bad, Measure. That's very close to actual Newfoundlandese. You can take the, let me see here. You could take the E out of the by. By is actually kind of a short form of boy. You're still here, by. You need an apostrophe at the beginning of ear because you're replacing a letter. Newfoundland alphabet, 27 letters. We use the apostrophe far too much. If I remember, Mitchell, you're in, was it Ontario, Manitoba, maybe Saskatchewan? I know you're what people here refer to as out west, but I tend to think of Quebec and Ontario, and occasionally a case could be made for Manitoba being central Canada, though I think it's more Ontario and Quebec. Or, upper Canada. Bastards. But, if you expect living in, oh, okay. Oof, oh yeah, you guys are stuck with Wab Canoe. Okay, so you're from home anyway. My apologies. Yepers. Yeah. Well, I'm sure being a Newfoundlander out west, you've encountered this. Somebody asks if you're from PEI, and you say, no, I'm from Newfoundland, and they say, well, PEI is in Newfoundland. Have you had that one? That one was fun the first time I got that. I looked at the Alberta, and I went, didn't really do well in geography, did you? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, like I say, I'm gonna smash those frames together, get that done, and once that's finished, then I'll be going at the vacuum, and then I'll probably shut her down for the night once Tony starts. If, for the record, if you haven't been over in Tony's streams on Sunday, his Hollywoke Live, I believe it is, you should check him out. Tony DiGirolamo, or DiGirolamo. And I'm probably mispronouncing that because I'm not Italian. But it's D-I-G-E. Well, he was in the chat. You guys can actually scroll back through chat and find Tony's channel. And I encourage you guys to pop over there. It's a good time. And I think he needs well, he doesn't need a lot more support, but it's nice to see him get support because he's a good guy. He's been on Sultans. So let's see what we got here. Primed, right. Remember those files we talked about? I got them. I've been using Scrapwood at work to shape handles. So I can... Oh, awesome. You got the rasps. You enjoying the handwork? And measure. Oh, no, I used to get, oh, you're from Newfoundland. Have you heard the last Newfie joke? Or, oh, you're from Newfoundland. Do you know George? Okay. I got that one a few times. I've had people ask me if I know such and such from Newfoundland. And I've said, you mean this fella? And they go, yeah. And I go, yeah, he died like last month, man. Sorry. Once the accent melted away. Yeah, the thing with me, my accent has always been relatively thin because I was raised by, well, not raised, but I was educated by nuns in the Catholic school system. They don't like it when you count things 1, 2, 3. They made very, very certain that we did not speak in our Newfoundland accent too much. And when I was in Alberta, occasionally I got accused of sounding both Irish and apparently American, which was interesting. The American I can see because I watched a lot of American TV. And also doing streaming and public speaking and things like that. You tend to pick up that kind of broad, I think it's a mid-Atlantic accent, they call it. Though really it's more of a broad base of Canadian, American. I'm just very glad I didn't watch a lot of TV from New York. Or Boston. And I've been lightly chastised by Tony, actually, for suggesting that Jersey is the proper pronunciation of New Jersey. Let's see. Midger says his accent used to be thick like butter. Now it's there, but it's so much less now. People understand me most of the time. Now it's great. A few times when I lived in Alberta, there were times when I had to slow down and speak very, very carefully, enunciating every single syllable to the point that I had to stop and look at the person I was speaking to and go, do you feel like I'm patronizing you? Because I felt like I was speaking so slowly that it sounded like I was essentially talking to a turd. Simon says he's got an awful accent. Countryside mixed with city slang sounds slow and dumb. Um, Depends on which part of the English countryside, I think. If it's a Yorkshire accent, you're going to be lucky if anybody outside Newfoundland in North America understands you. I've heard Patrick Stewart speak in his native Yorkshire accent, and that's an entertainment in itself. Uh, Norfolk. Okay. Norfolk. Let me think. Okay, so that's close to Geordie territory. Am I kind of in the right zone for geography there? Um, anyway, yeah, I'll just sit and have a sip and wait. Mm, East Coast. Okay, so that way. Okay, okay, yeah. I kind of know relatively where Norfolk is, or Norfolk, if I'm pronouncing it right. Uh, but yeah, my people came from the South Country, uh, Devonshire, I think, Hampshire, Shropshire, and possibly places like that. Like as far as I know, my family name Party still exists in England. Okay, I'm gonna have one more cigarette because I'm craving one, and because sitting down talking to you guys is so nice after so long not doing it. I've really actually missed talking to you guys, which is great. And yeah, I love being on the Sultans, but doing my own thing occasionally is nice as well. I'm just sitting still. Why on earth? There must be cloud cover. Must be pretty minimal too. Either that or that board is breathing. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up, Simon. I don't think I'm going to be making regular content again anytime soon. I've got till about this time next year before I'm done my course. After that, I'll probably start making content again relatively regularly, but I've got no plans to get back to where I was. Not at this point. Uh, I do want to get back to doing at least two a week. I want to do the Terra Nova Tuesday thing. I'm still thinking about approaching the government for, I believe it's a heritage grant to be able to do a bit of traveling so that I can go from museum to museum here. Uh, this generation of Newfoundlander is getting perilously close to losing what bit of heritage we have. Uh, and that's completely unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. For a couple of reasons. People need to remember their history. Like, there are a lot of people here in Newfoundland who have no idea that the Germans actually made landfall in Labrador, that the Battle of Bell Island happened. Uh, oh, you missed the Saturday stream. That's okay. Uh, it was a shorter stream than usual. We were a little short-handed. Trim had to go early to pack. Bleach wasn't there. And Dave, of course, total blackout. He had to leave a bit early as well. Or Fat Dave, I should say. He had to leave a little early as well because he's got a regular thing that he does on Saturdays. I believe he plays a RPG. I'm not sure if they stream it or not. I should ask him about that because he doesn't shill it. So, yeah. And I will say, hats off to Dave to have found a group that meets that regularly. Because you guys know that we're trying to get the Sultans thing going for a D&D stream. Or, well, an RPG stream. We're planning to do the Dresden Files. Uh, that, unfortunately, my fault, it got put on hold. And I'm sorry. Though, it was at the point where I was pretty much ready to go. We were just working out cast. And as anybody who's ever tried to run an RPG game knows, the biggest issue is time commitment from the group. And yeah, it doesn't always work out that way. Uh, oh, also, well, Simon's aware of this anyway. I do manage to occasionally get a guest spot on with Yiz, so Saturday stream was enjoyable. Shorter runtime was a good change of pace. That's, I don't disagree with you. It's something of a marathon to actually be part of those streams. I can only imagine how difficult it is for some people to maintain their concentration on the stream while we're talking for that long. Speaking of talking for that long, Excuse me. But yeah, the enjoyment I get out of Sultans far overrules any sort of peevishness I might have about the amount of time. Though I do end up occasionally having to cut it short, family issues and things like that, like family commitments, real world commitments, which is actually probably what's going to end up happening to this one before too much longer. I think I'm up to about 2 hours now. And I do appreciate the 9 likes. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'll get the word in a minute. The amount of time we unearthed this Manitoba. Manitoba is the 4th province in from the left. If you've ever heard of Winnipeg, Simon, especially if you happen to follow pro wrestling, especially in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, a lot of wrestlers did come out of that area, Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, that area. It's not exactly Commie Central, but it's definitely Canadian Commie Central. It's any interaction I've had with anybody from Manitoba on who wasn't avidly a member of the PPC on Twitter has been cancerous, to say the least. The best way to think about Manitoba, if BC is Canada's answer to California, then Manitoba is Canada's answer to Oregon, Portland. That's probably fair, wouldn't you say, Major? Oh, I think supper may be getting ready as well. So yeah, I'll get these frames set up and get them ready to go. Let's see, there are only 2 major urban centers in Manitoba, Winnipeg and Brandon. Never seen a group of people so in love with the nanny state before. Oh, dude, no. My grandfather's and father's generation would be absolutely disgusted with how in love with the nanny state even their generation was. It's one of the reasons I really have such a hate on for Joey Smallwood. He was so much of a communist that, and so cocky about it. He grew up in the 70s and 80s in Newfoundland. Let's see, the 80s in Newfoundland, Skipper, Friendly Giant, oh God, what else? Land and Sea, Simony. Yeah. For the record, Simony is a folk band from Newfoundland. Very good music. I recommend, if you're going to listen to one of their songs, though it's a bit out of date now because the Cold War is over, I would check out The Cowboy and the General. Let's see. They won't just walk calmly into the fire, unfortunately, Simon. They will dance into the fire. And not the way Duran Duran meant either. A bit of a dark time, really. We had some good TV shows. Wonderful Grand Band was good. Codco. Yeah, even this hour has 22 minutes when it started was really good. They had, I believe, 3 Newfoundland comics on there. And they were rugged about some of the stuff they said. But, like the state of everything else involved in Canadian public television, it's all being paid for by Trudeau now. So, you get what you vote for. Though I didn't vote for the prick. In any case, it's time that I got back to doing a little bit of work before I have to be summoned upstairs by the better half. So, I will go and finish assembling these frames now, and then by the time that's done, I do believe, come on, fingers, there we go. I do believe it will be very close to time for Tony. So, if you guys want to pop into Tony's chat, do tell him that I sent you. And, yeah, hopefully we'll see each other over there afterwards. Just to see if that's good. Okay. Move that chair to one side. Mr. Table. let us return to where you were. As I no longer need these. If you hear the occasional thumping on the canvas wall there, that will be Zeus. He's got a tail like a friggin' left hook. But that's what happens when you have a half Labrador. I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just putting my clamps back up out of the way. I can move this a bit closer this time. You. And one at a time of these. Do this a bit sensibly. Okay. You know, I'm starting to think I should have drilled those out, but not really all that interested in it now. Okay, I think I went too tight on the other side. That'll do. Okay. Let's see what we got on this side now. That's a bit less of a lip than I would have wanted, but it'll do. Let's go there. Okay. Okay. This one, I'm going to try and do it alternated to that one. So, And yeah, I'm pretty much just eyeballing this at this point. Yeah. So that's pretty much the skeleton of it. What I'll do now, I'll take... well, I shouldn't have done that. This one... And I don't want to make it that long, so what I'm going to do is measure this, see what I've got. I'll probably only make it the same length as one of these logs here. Tape measure is there. So from there's just shy of 4 feet. And I believe these are closer to 5. That's just over 5. So I will be taking off roughly 11 inches. Or sorry, 13. My math got a little funny there for a second. So about 13 inches is coming off of that. And that'll happen 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I need 4 of those. So I need 3 more. And since that one's already cut loose and not in the best of shape, I'll put it over here. And these 4 can get cut apart. Get them properly organized. Alright. There we are. Okay. Knife. Okay, that pushed those staples apart quite neatly. Sometimes there's just no substitute for doing something viscerally entertaining. I'm going to turn that around so that the strap's towards me. Fucker. Come here. That's better. Oh, missed. There we go. Figures. Okay. That's just to keep the knives from falling around anyway. So yeah, all I have to do now is pull those pieces apart, get some staples dealt with, do a bit of cutting, and those pieces, I'll put one on either side of the X at the top, and then put one on either side of the triangle on the outside, for 2 reasons. One, for stability, to keep it from deforming in terms of shape, and also because when I'm cutting, it'll give me a place to put my foot to get a little extra leverage. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Medger says he might have himself a nap, craving one for some reason. I see you live again, bud. Thank you very much. Simon says best regards. Looks a lot like Penrose Stairs. I'm going to have to look that up. I've never heard of them. Unless that's similar to Witch's Tread. And Boss is in. Hi, Boss. I'm just getting ready to wrap up. I'm just over the 2-hour mark, so I will be just doing a bit of cutting, well, a bit of staple removal on these boards over here, and then getting ready to do some assembly at a later time, probably later tonight, to be honest, while I'm watching Tony. But yeah, I just finished doing the 3 basic frames for a Sawhorse. If you've ever seen, I guess one would call it a timber Sawhorse or a locking Sawhorse, where you'll have the 3 sections, or the 2 sections with 3 frames, 3 X frames like this. where you basically put a log or a long piece of wood in it and use that to brace for cutting. I'm actually kicking myself in the ass for not having built one long since. But the reason I'm building it now is because we have some yard stuff, old wooden fences, things like that kind of need to be cut up for burning. So it's easier that way. Plus, that will eventually come in handy for other tools or other projects. Let's see what is in there. Oh, that's interesting. That's a pile of dead pill bugs. Okay. So yeah, I'll be stopping the stream here fairly short order because I'm just about done, and I was planning to do some work on the vacuum cleaner behind me, but that won't be getting done after all. I do believe I'm about to be summoned for supper, so yeah, I'll get this done, and then I'm probably going to be dropping off. There we are. And this has basically been I suppose, a reused wood sort of stream, because everything I've used, which includes actually the screws, has been stuff that's come out of other projects or other pieces that I had access to. And broke another staple. No big deal. And all out. But if you want to ask me a question, I will stop before I finish and just address any comments that I see in chat before I quit. Now, this one is sunk pretty good, so I don't think I'm going to get the staple out. But given where it is, I'm not concerned about it because it's not going to be staying there. So I'm taking off roughly a foot of this material, which I will do now before I go. I will need clamps for that. If I recall correctly, it was 13 inches I had to take off. But I think what I might do is take an inch from one side and then an inch from another, and then make the cuts accordingly. And if you're wondering what I'm doing with the clamp, I'm just using it to keep the ends more or less aligned so that when I go to cut them, they'll come off about the same length. This is just a rough sort of deal, so it doesn't need to be. This is not precision woodworking by any means. Actually needs to move a little closer to where I'm going to be cutting. Okay, let's see, that should be 15 inches back. Now the question is, where did I lay my tape measure down? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's better than 13. So, work on, oh, there we go. Work on this side. So I can see where to start the cut. And mark on this side to see where the cut follows. And just to be certain, that's roughly 3 feet, 4 feet. It's a little short of 4 feet, which is fine. And yeah, the only thing left to do now is that cut, and I'm done with this. I did intend to get at that vacuum. That's going to be not this stream, unfortunately. I may possibly do another stream tomorrow, though I don't know for certain, as my holiday is running out rapidly. So. Slightly too short. But I do love the aggressive teeth. Okay. That is done. So, the only thing left to do now is to assemble this, which I won't be doing on this stream, as I said. But the next time I do something live, I will try to remember to show you guys the finished product. So yeah, that's an easy sawhorse. If you're doing cutting for, if for example you're the sort of person who has a fire pit or like a barbecue that you like to use wood in, things like that, then that's actually quite a good choice to have one of those to cut your own wood with. In any case, it's most likely time for supper, and shortly after that it'll be time for Tony. So, just to have a quick look at chat. What? I'll be right up, honey. Let me see. And I saw somebody from my class in there. Let's see. Howdy from Kingdom. Why am I a mod? You've been a mod for some time, Kingdom. Kyle. Hi, Kyle. How's it going? Let's see. Why aren't I doing the QAP? Because I'm not Brad. Okay, Brad is the one who's rabid for friggin' work, not me. No, this isn't a website. No, I needed to get some physical building done before I start building other things. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for popping in. Kyle is actually one of my classmates. Would you like to be on camera in your lovely outfit? Okay, you got your sandals on. Hang on, stay there. The love of my life has a thing for giraffes. You should probably do up your top button.
Ooh.
Oh, that is your top button, is it? No? Okay.
Okay, it just feels like I'm choking if I do that one now.
Okay, don't do that one then. So the love of my life likes giraffes, and because of that, for her birthday, I picked her up a couple of giraffe-related items. She's only wearing one of them, though. Ladies and gentlemen, Stormy the giraffe.
Your beef dip is ready.
Yes, you need to come back to it out here, love, so they get the full effect. I very much love this woman.
Giraffe! Bye!
That's super cute, says Kyle. Okay, Kyle, I haven't been doing these since, right when I started the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much gave them up because I knew I wouldn't have the time, and Kyle says I should show this side of me more often.
What side of you? The best side of him is right here.
No, that's better half love.
No, it's the best.
Okay. Wench, get back in the kitchen.
No,
Make me a sandwich.
I already done.
It's a good wench. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you later. If you're interested, go over to Tony DiGirolomo's channel. No kissing on stream.
No kissing.
You're
Who said that?
Kyle.
Come here.
Now look what you've done to me.
Bye bye.
Okay, guys. Have a good night. If you're interested, pop into Sultans. Bam, says Kyle. See you soon, Simon. So yeah, if you're interested, pop into Sultans. Tony DiGirolomo has a live stream starting in a very short time. You can search Hollywoke live, and that should take you to his channel. Other than that, yeah, I will see you guys when I see you. I mean, I don't have an opportunity to do these too much lately, so this was just fun to do while I had the opportunity. See you guys. And I am done.